Alright, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. We have got new sets of our Maxxis razors. So I am going to do a bit of a review on them. So we've done about 55, I think, to 60,000 Ks on these. They've held up really well. The only thing that we've had issues with a little bit was cracking, and that only seemed to be from 2 tyres. We're not sure how it happened, or whether it was misuse or a bit of manufacturing issue, but Maxxis were pretty good about that, and they sorted us out. So with the new tyres, they have 15 mil of tread, and then the used ones, the best of the used ones, so these were the best, these were ended up on the rear of this vehicle, which is Takawa's. We're going to keep these ones and put them as a extra spare, but these ended up with 5 mil left, or close to it. So I didn't think it was too bad. We both drive pretty quickly and hammer the corners. I also spent 30,000 Ks on towing a 2.5 ton builder's trailer, so that did flog them out reasonably quick. Otherwise I reckon we probably would have got 70 or 80,000 out of them. Now in the terms of drivability on the road, I think that these are the best mud terrain I have owned for drivability on the road and in the wet on tar. They are absolutely insane, the amount of grip they get for an aggressive mud terrain. I have had BFGs in the past and they become like ice, or they're pretty much like ice from brand new. They just get worse and worse, and never seem to find the drivability on the road that favourable. The other thing is with noise. These are exceptionally quiet for a mud terrain. They're not going to be as good as your highway terrain or something like that, but with noise, these are definitely the quietest tyre that I have had on my vehicle. I have had Nittos. They were a little bit noisier, but I also didn't have them in this size. They were a small on an N70 Hilux, not an N80, and they were a 265, not a 285. The other thing with these that made us buy another set was chipping. We didn't have any lugs chipping out. We had issues with our BFGs. They just kept chipping like on dirt roads. It would just flog them out. I've taken my Hilux to the Kimberleys and back, towing a boat and just thrashing it on the dirt roads, and the footage that you've seen earlier, that's all the damage I got with the splitting. Some of it was rock, some of it was manufacturer, so really happy with the outcome with that, because I had full lugs come off on my BFGs, KM3s, but with these, as you can see, there's like no chipping on edges and stuff like that. They've worn really well, really evenly. The other thing is with off-road, even with 5 mil, they still flung the mud out alright. It wasn't exceptional, like you wouldn't spend all your time off-road on 5 mil of tread in the mud, because it's definitely not as good as having 15 mil. Alright, so the only thing that I have to fault about them is that although they don't chip and stuff like that, that must be because they're a softer compound than a BFG, that we didn't get as much as what I have previously gotten out of my BFGs. And the Nittos, I think we got about the same out of the Nittos because they're a softer compound as well. These tyres balance up perfectly. This is our second set on both vehicles. So all 16 tyres balanced up perfectly. There's no shake in the steering wheel or anything like that. The only other thing that I can think of that was a little bit annoying about these tyres, which it happens to all tyres, is that like the first 10,000 k's you sort of pump through the tread because they're softer, and then they get work hardened as they get, you know, warmer and stuff like that, hotter. But that I don't know whether we had a alignment issue, but first 10,000 k's you like pump the tyres, so that could have been the issue why we didn't get, you know, 80,000 out of them. Alright, so the other thing that we have really liked about these tyres is that none of us have had puncture. Now, I'm not sure if that's just coincidental or anything like that, but we haven't had any punches, and we've done some pretty rugged country, which it does pay to have a good tyre, you know, that doesn't get flats and stuff, that's got a really strong sidewall. I think these are 10 ply, like equivalent of 10 ply. They're not quite 10 ply. I'm not sure how they get the equivalent or something like that, but we found that the sidewalls are really strong in these, even when you've got to let them down a fair bit for them to bag out, which it works in advantage when you tow in and when you've got a lot of weight over the rear of your vehicle. It doesn't feel like it's squirming in corners or anything like that. But then when you let them down, you've got to let them down more for them to bag out, which isn't a big thing. Like, we've never spun a tyre off the rim or anything like that, and we've had to go down, I think we've had them down as far as 8 to get out of, it was actually down the back of my parents' place. We had to pull someone out and it was really wet. It's just grass and mud, and we weren't going anywhere fast anytime soon. Off-road performance with these, I can't really tell the difference between my BFGs and these. The BFGs ate mud really well, they just chipped out. These eat mud really well, eat rock. You know, we've done just about everything on them and they seem to handle everything. You know, I've got no complaints or anything like that. With them, they're a really strong, solid tyre off-road. So I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover on these tyres. The cost has gone up a bit. I paid $390 for the first set, and we got a really good deal at $430 each for this set, but they're currently going for about $480, which brings them up into the higher end category sort of thing, which I think they're still probably the best tyre out there. My dad has run Mickey Thompson's, and he hasn't had a real good run out of those. We're not sure why. The tyres have just been chopped apart. But even at $430, $480, they're probably my best pick on tyre, and that's why we've gone with them again. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions about the tyres, obviously just leave a comment below or head over to our Instagram page and send us a message, and I'll do my best to get back to you. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel, as it helps with creating content and stuff like that. So we'll see you guys next time.